Hunters. We just got a Monster Hunter Wilds showcase and we learned about 3 new monsters, 2 new locations, and an open beta test. So let's dive into the details. The trailer opens up to our hunting caravan, including Team Astrum, being introduced to a new location. Azuz, the Everforge. And we don't get a ton of information about the Everforge, but according to the website, it is a village that was formed around the giant forge. So the forge came first and the village came second. But that's because it exists near the Oil Well Basin, which is a volcanic region where oil wells and raging fires burn, home to unique creatures that have adapted to its harsh environment. These characters' outfits look awesome, and I love seeing the different symbols on the blacksmith's shirt, or I guess smelting apron. Looking closer, it looks like it could be serpents or smoke and fire. I'm not quite sure. But it also looks like the guy that we save at the very beginning of the game from the Balahara comes with us on our journey. It looks like he's originally from Kunafa, so maybe he's being our guide. Then we get to see just how giant their forge is. Look at all the lava that is clearly going to be pouring down these ramps. It reminds me of how they tried to take out Smaug in The Hobbit. Then we get a little walkthrough tour and we get to see ores and just how large this area is, as well as our Palago playing with some kids. So cool. And then a little girl runs off and Gemma makes a comment about her being a firebrand. I don't know if that is just a nickname she's giving her because they're both smithies, or if it's a specific role. Also, Gemma's glove looks really cool. It looks like she has some kind of like pole and bucket, so maybe she has to collect ores from like a dangerous place, or maybe she has to like scoop up the tar and oil that we'll see later. Then we get to see a little bit of the open environment with a smokestack and our Sacred jumping some gaps of these rock formations that were clearly made by like magma dripping down. Very igneous. Then we get to see some salamander endemic life and some new raptors. These guys look crazy. It almost looks like their heads open up, but I think those are just like rock ornamentation that they use as weapons, because we can see them smash their heads into the salamander dudes. Makes me think of like a rock demogorgon, weird. Then we get some shots of the caves leading towards the fire areas with some bats and gathering. Then we get to see the most beautiful area they've shown us yet. This is called the Oil Well Basin. And it looks like it has a time of heavy oil production, a time of flame and fire, and a time of beauty, question mark? Where everything gets a little more sunny and colorful. So I assume like clear weather, then oil production boosts, and then all that oil catches fire, and then there's fire everywhere. Just kidding, this place is hell. I would not want to explore here, especially because of what we see next. The tar starts bubbling up and exploding, and then this thing rises out of the tar and oil. Its name is Rompopolo or Rompopolo, a brute wyvern that inhabits the areas of the deep oil silt. Gross, terrible, kill it with fire, but fire probably wouldn't work. Look at this thing with its like bubbles and its spiky proboscis and its licky tongue. Looks like it's shooting poison everywhere also. Oh, and it stands on its tail a little bit and it has like these sharp mantis claws. Like, ugh, this thing is the worst. Oh, and then the oil's exploding everywhere. Jeez, dude. I do not want to fight this thing at all. But on the other hand, all of them need to die and be exterminated. But then our hero swoops in. This monster is called Ajaracon or Ajaracon, if you're being American. It's a fanged beast characterized by the flame-like protrusions that cover its back. I cannot wait to make this thing's armor. It's gonna look sick. It's in the fanged beast family, and it's kind of like a Rajang mated with a Quechawacha and got really mad because it had to live in fire. But it looks like it swings around its environment using the like pipes of magma and oil that litter the area, and it looks like it digs into the magma to light itself on fire when it goes rage mode and gets roided out. Oh, and then we get to see a clash with the shield. That's so sick. And then, as I said earlier, we get to see the forge lit and see how the magma will pour down the ramps. And then this lady, who I assume is like the village leader or the queen of the land or something, says that we beckoned the fire spring with our own hands. Maybe that's why we were called to the area, because their forge wasn't able to be lit anymore, and we had to like slay a monster that was stopping it or something. Probably the absolute disgusting menace, Rompopolo. And then we get to see the environment change. NPC multiplayer, as well as multiple Ajaracon throwing rocks at us. Traps to use on the disgusting menace. Those are clearly engineered traps too. That's really cool. It's cool that we get to use our slingers so creatively. And then we get to see what looks like the Rampapolo lance slamming into the Ajaracon. That's pretty dope. Very Final Fantasy Dragon Lancer. Oh no, and it looks like we went a little too hard with the forge and it's like overflowing. Oh no. And then we get to see the apex of the area. The Black Flame. This thing looks so sick. Like me right now. It looks like the forge being lit summoned it or something. Maybe it was inside the forge and then when we lit it, it's like, oh hell nah. Oh my gosh, but it's holding Ajaracon like they're nothing. And then she says this wasn't supposed to happen, so maybe it's like something that she helped engineer. But dude, this thing is like an octopus Balrog. So cool. It's got these blue glowing elements on its eyes and tentacles, and it just like spews flames. I love how menacing it is and how it seems like it's insurmountable right now. It grips our hunter and stares us down, and it looks like it's just gonna flamethrower us. And so our hunter's just stabbing it, and the oil starts to leak out, and it's like, well, you're gone. You're done. Goodness gracious, this thing is menacing, dude. Apparently, it's a monster that's a legend in this area, and the elders have trauma from it, which I can fully understand. Absolutely insane. Super, super exciting. All of that looked amazing. Also, I'm sorry about my nose. I'm sick right now, and sometimes it gets stopped up, and sometimes it gets cleared. I don't know. It's all just happening while I'm sitting here. I stayed out too late with the boys. We were doing a Halloween episode that you guys will see in like a week or so. Then Ryozo came back, and he expressed his gratitude. He was saying that after they announced the game, the reception has been like monumental, and he's very happy and appreciative. So we couldn't be happier, Ryozo. I also love that he like never changes his expression. And then he gave us a special announcement that there's an open beta test that is coming soon to all platforms. Well, not all platforms, but PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X and S, and Steam. And during the open beta, it's going to be entirely crossplay. So that means that you can play with your friends on any platform. If you're on Steam and someone's on Xbox and your other friend is on PlayStation 5, you can all play the open beta together. So amazing. The way the open betas work is that you have a set amount of time that you can play it in between one date and another date, basically like an event in Monster Hunter Now. And the times for the open betas are Thursday, October 31st, so Halloween, at 8 p.m. Pacific time until Sunday, November 3rd at 6:59 p.m. Pacific time. And it says the time is adjusted for daylight savings time. So that's about 3.5, 4 days that we'll be able to play Monster Hunter Wilds together. So I'm on EST or EDT. So for the 8 p.m. Pacific time, that's 11 p.m. for me. So I might hop on late, or I might just get up ridiculously early, like 3 or 4 a.m. and play. And then I was a little confused because these dates are like crossing over, but it looks like it's just converting for time zones. So it's not two separate open betas, it's just one, but it's giving two separate time zones, and I didn't convert the time zones until now, so I was confused. Because 3 a.m. GMT is like 7 p.m. Pacific time, so it's slightly earlier than the 8 p.m., but it probably lines up. Either way, 7 or 8 p.m. Pacific time is when this open beta starts. So 10 or 11 p.m. for EST. Basically, come home from trick-or-treating and treat yourself to some Monster Hunter Wilds. I'll be playing it on Xbox because I don't have a good PC yet, but I am gonna try and load it up on my Steam Deck just to see if I can, because I want to get the save data for the open beta, because if you do play the open beta, then you get a little trinket. You get a little palico that you can hang on your weapon or your sacred, which is so cool. Capcom Monster Hunter team, you guys always like find a way to give us just a little small thing that actually means a whole lot. And it's so interesting how you guys can do that. It means a lot to me. You really know how to commemorate an occasion. And then Ryozo said that the open beta contains 3 different parts. Character creation, so we can spend as much time creating our character and our palico as we want. And he said that we can go over over it as many times as we want so we can like recreate the character over and over and over again. This is what they did for Dragon's Dogma 2, and it was really cool because then you have your character created already and you don't feel pressured to spend hours creating your character before you start the game when it's the actual launch date. So that's awesome. As a reminder, the Palico and the Hunter are fully voiced in this game, so you'll be able to choose your voices, and again, you can make the Palico just meow if you wanted to. The character customization and the Palico customization look extremely deep in this, so awesome. The next part is the story trial, where he said we can experience the opening cutscene and play through a Chotacabra hunt with a basic tutorial. So that way we can really dig into the details and see everything new with all of the weapons, and get tutorials on each one if we want to. I am so excited for the new dual blades and hammer. Somebody was saying in my comments that nothing changed with the dual blades, but there's a lot of changes and they're basically all positive. He also explained that they're making sure that there is a seamless transition from cutscenes to gameplay. Super dope. And the last part of the open beta is a Deshagama hunt. For this, your goal is to defeat the alpha of the Deshagama pack, but I'm sure you'll be doing a lot more than just that, hunters, because they're finally letting us loose in the Windward Plains, and you can call your friends with SOS flares. And if there's not enough players who can join, then NPC hunters will join you. Super dope. But I cannot wait to jump on this open beta and play with you hunters. During the open beta, we'll be able to talk to Alma and customize exactly how we want our open beta lobbies to be, including setting a passcode if you want to. And he reiterated that even when other players are there, our Palico will still join us. And he said that during the open beta, we can register friends across all platforms. But in this amazing forlorn firework show, he shows us how this is just a moment in time and explains to us that any friends that we make during the open beta will not transfer to the full version. I love this. Again, they're just so good with their presentation. It's like, it's a firework, a burst, a beautiful moment. And then it fades. And then he goes over the different editions that you can buy and how PlayStation has an exclusive digital art book. Oh, and I forgot to mention that there is a separate PlayStation only early play period too, which is these dates, but I don't have a PS5, so I don't really care about this. But make sure you get your pre-orders in for the game, because anyone who pre-orders the game gets a special Guild Knight suit, which is in lore the guild hunters that hunt other hunters. So kind of dope. I like all of it except for the hat. So whenever I wear it, I tend to take the hat off, but I really like the style, as well as a Hope Charm talisman, which can be a great help during the beginning of the game. Usually these have like Divine Blessing or something. But that's it, hunters. I just wanted to fill you in. This is so exciting. The new environment looks so dope. I can't wait to smack around the monsters. My wife, whenever she plays video games, doesn't like video games like Dark Souls because she doesn't want to be in that environment. She like enjoys feeling like she's immersed in a beautiful or cool environment. And I'm feeling those vibes with the oil well basin a little bit because I do not want to be there, but I do want to go in there and exterminate that proboscis wielding disgusting Rampapolo, which kind of reflects on why I like to play those kind of games like Dark Souls and stuff, because I like to be a light in the darkness. But let me know what you're most excited for with this trailer. For me, it's gotta be the open beta. I can't wait to play Wilds. It's coming so soon. As a content creator, it's kind of stressing me out because there's so much to do. I have my normal content with Monster Hunter Now, and then my GU video is doing extremely well. It's almost at 10K, so thank you all so much for watching that. Thank you for the support, and thank you to the almost 200 new subscribers from that video. Thanks for being here, hunters. But I hope you liked this video. Please like it if you did. Thanks so much for watching. Happy hunting, and subscribe so you can go on this hunting journey with me. Until next time, see you later, hunters.